Hello and welcome to another Warcraft III audio commentary. Today we're going to bring you another Best of 3 series from the WLW. Indeed, I am loving the games played for this league or tournaments or whatever it is. It's awesome. Players are bringing their A games and we're seeing some amazing games. And today we're going to be watching Kenshin spawning in as the blue human in the lower left part of the map. This is Secret Valley. So of course it's a 1v1 map. And he's going up against Zhouxixi. Or XIXI, as I pronounced previously, Ixi. So hey, there he is. He's going to be going Warden first. Whoa, sorry. And he's going to go with an Ancient of War creep with an archer, of course, right here for his null camp. Very basic, very standard. Of course, we have Kenshin going with Archmage Opener and Footman. It looks like he might be going for maybe an expansion. Hard to tell this early on in the game, but I'm going to go ahead and assume he's going to do that because he's not doing anything out of the ordinary here. I'm going to go ahead and have that first Footman out go Scout. Of course, there's a Wisp on the way to Scout as well from Kenshin, or from Zhouxixi. And over here we can see that he's going to go ahead and pull out the null camp right here with that archer. Get that Ancient of War under attack. Of course, he eats a tree with it to help repair it, and he has a Wisp to help repair it as well. Going to go ahead and just get a little bit closer to these trees, get another attack in, and of course he can eat a tree now whenever he feels like he needs to. And there you go. Over here we can see that this this militia creep is underway now, as you can see, on the null camp from Kenshin. And here we do see, of course, 5 militia creeping out. One of those null assassins summoning the water elemental. Here comes a Wisp. Will it detonate on that water elemental? He will try to do so, but yes, indeed, does go for it. Not quite low enough life on that water elemental to actually go ahead and pick up the experience. Gonna go ahead and let that water elemental die to the creeps. Might as well get a little bit more damage and a little bit more tanking from it. As you can see now, there is a couple of low HP militias there. That Wisp did a little bit of damage, not really too much. And up here we can see that Shadow Strike has been the first skill chosen for the Warden. Gonna go ahead and Shadow Strike on the Scout Footman as he now runs away. He's probably going to get picked off right here. Of course, the Shadow Strike does slow you a little bit. He might try to suicide into this Fountain Creep over here. Will he be able to make it? Going to have to force a second Shadow Strike. And it looks like that's going to be level 2. Yes, it is level 2, so close to the deny, as you can see, just so close, of course. So it's a good thing that he did go ahead and use that second Shadow Strike, but that is 150 mana used to kill that. And here we can see in here, Kenshin's going to come in here and go ahead and try to do some harass on the base. Going to go ahead and have 2 Wisps detonated, and that's during the attack. Going to go for the third one. It's probably going to be able to live itself and go into the gold mine. Indeed, it will. One Wisp has been trapped. Now going to go ahead and detonate, barely missing that water elemental. Of course, the archer will be able to pick it off, which will give experience to the Warden over here. So there you have it. We have this archer now taking a little bit of damage. Going to go ahead and hide. There isn't a dust currently on the Archmage, so we can't currently reveal that. We're going to see a Shadow Strike on one of these Footmen. There's enough mana for a second Shadow Strike. That Footman's going to go down. It probably won't even need a second Shadow Strike, but he might go ahead and use it. We'll see, maybe. Looks like he's going to go for the deny. Actually gets the deny off. A very nice move by Kenshin. Looks like he's over here with his Archmage at the shop. Going to pick up boots and a dust. Two very good things. And he's teching halfway through his tech currently. Going to go ahead and use these militia to kill a Wisp that was sitting there scouting Kenshin's base. And probably come over here and creep the screen camp. Of course, we can see both players are halfway through their tech currently. That Archmage is providing a lot of harass, able to kill quite a few Wisps so far in this game. Going to try to kill this one as well. Of course, it's going to be preemptively moved before it attacks. Instead, it's going to go for this archer, in fact, and might be able to kill the archer, but no, just going to force a little bit of Moonwell to be used. Of course, it's not a bad thing. A lot of archers currently being used in this game. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 archers right now, and they're not going to go down, I don't think, because it's going to be hard to kill any of these archers when you have this many of them. We might see one of them go down, actually, 2 of them go down, as they now actually are running out of their base, in fact. Bit of an odd choice, I guess, but hey, that makes sense in this case. And as you can see now, these 3 archers up here are going to be running up back towards their base as these 2 come down to the healing fountain to go ahead and heal up. We do have Kenshin going to be running a Footman into creeps, maybe going to suicide. Going to suicide, not going to be able to get, or going to be able to deny experience. So the Warden not going to be able to pick up any experience for that kill. Almost killing a Wisp right here in the base. Going to cancel a building. I believe that was a shop, and will he be able to kill that Wisp? Doesn't look like it's going to go down. Going to go ahead and rebuild a Hunter's Hall. Maybe that's what it was, a Hunter's Hall. And as you can see now, an archer is going to take quite a bit of damage. Going to go ahead and use that Moonwell, using a second Moonwell. Kenshin doing a great job of keeping these Moonwells on low mana. Of course, I'm going to go ahead and force the dust right there, and will he be able to kill the archer now that it can no longer shadow mode? It still has a little bit of Moonwell mana left, but not enough, I don't think, to keep it alive if it gets chased. Has been blocked a little bit there by that second archer. Another water elemental has been summoned, and now we have a panda for the second hero of Kenshin. And at this point, will we see Zhouxixi picking up a second hero? It's a possibility. Going to run a couple more of these, or bringing those archers that were currently down at that healing fountain up here. Is he making any more? No, he's not. Kenshin trying to go for the cancel on the Hunter's Hall. Of course, we do see a shop being built in the back of Zhouxixi's base. Looks like this Hunter's Hall is going to go down. It's canceled right there. It is, and now we can see that a breath of fire being used on the archers, and indeed, we can see another archer. None of the archers have gone down, but just gonna have that Archmage being chased now by the Warden. The Warden has picked up boots. The Archmage did give the boots over to the Panda, and that's gonna allow him to stay alive a little bit longer versus Shadow Strike Focus. Gonna go ahead and Breath of Fire on those 3 wisps right there. Pick one of those wisps off, no problem. And will he be able to get the second one? Going to try to. I think he will. Yes, indeed. One does go down, and he's gonna go ahead and detonate a 3rd wisp. Now he might go ahead and try to kill that water elemental, but it's not gonna actually happen because it does expire right before he could finish it off. And of course, the Nagasi, which has been picked up as the second hero for Zhouxixi. With a level 2 Warden, normally you would like to have a level 3 Warden before you pick up your second hero, simply because Warden becomes much more powerful at level 3s and level 5, but in this case, he just didn't have a choice. Kenshin doing non-stop harass, coming right back into Zhouxixi's base right now. Zhouxixi hasn't been able to build much of anything. As you can see, he has to rebuild his Hunter's Hall over here. It's about to come up, which will finally allow him to go ahead and pick up tier 2 buildings. But as you can see, he's really low on wood. Only 103 wood, still making wisps, and of course, he's just not having enough wood wisps. As you can see, this one has been able to stay alive pretty much the whole game, as well as those two, but everything else has pretty much been dying or being forced to move around the base. And as you can see, there's so many archers out on the field now trying to defend this. There are 6 archers currently on the field in non-stop wisp production coming in for Zhouxixi. And you know, we do have these footmen are going to be ahead, and one's going to go down. It's being currently cold slowed by an arrow, and it's definitely not going to make it out of here. Of course, that boots of speed has been passed from the Warden over to the Nagasi Witch, and the Nagasi Witch has now picked up a Gloves of Haste as well. This wisp might get scouted as Kenshin is very close to it. It looks like he's not going to notice it, and he's going to pretty much walk right back towards the base from Zhouxixi. But Zhouxixi going to intercept him, going to go ahead and try to pick off another footman. He should be able to do so, and in fact, with that Warden, yes indeed, I'm sorry, with the Naga, but yes indeed, of course, the Warden is also attacking it, and he's going to go ahead and kick that and get a little bit of experience for it. There you go. Now we can see that Kenshin is running down. This time maybe he'll find this wisp right here, as he's very close to it. But again, nope, not going to happen. And maybe, or if he did see it, he's going to run away regardless, because he definitely could see this big army coming down towards him. As you can see, Zhouxixi pulling out this shop creep camp. Of course, doing so in a way that leaves 2 of these creeps behind, which is a very efficient way of creeping. This makes you take a lot less damage. And of course, Kenshin now has gone for this wisp. Will he try to finish it off? He's going to go ahead and steal the panda right there. I'm sorry, the ogre with his panda using a breath of fire. And now you can see Zhouxixi has the option to Shadow Strike that footman and try to kill it, but it looks like he doesn't really want to chase that far. As you can see, he's pulling the creep camp out one more time, of course, narrowly avoiding the ensnare, which is a very good move to do. And the way he plays this, of course, as you can see, preventing himself from being ensnared, very important, because otherwise Kenshin would most likely go ahead and kill one of these archers. Of course, getting it ensnared all the way up here, not a huge issue. And now you can see a Shadow Strike, as well as a lot of nukes coming in from onto this Ogre Magi. Who's going to get it? It looks like Kenshin going to pick up the item, but I do believe the Warden, Zhouxixi, was able to pick up the experience for that. But either way, picking up the item, a very nice, still picking up a Scroll of the Beast, in fact, a wonderful item, and it's going to allow him to do a lot more damage. Here we have Knights already out on the way. This is a Castle Tech picking out a Paladin for the 3rd hero of Kenshin. What an interesting play to get Panda Paladin. But nonetheless, he does need that Paladin. It's going to be very effective. And as you can see, that Archmage is taking a lot of damage. That Archmage is going to be forced to TP without a doubt here. Yes, indeed, there's the TP. The Panda just trying to stay out of the way. But here comes the Archmage. Going to go ahead and barely not kill this Archer. That Knight was mid-attack. Would have been able to take it out. And where's the Paladin? Here it is. The Paladin on his way. Going to go ahead and start using Holy Light on the Archmage. And of course, the Archmage does pop a Clarity. He doesn't even use a Healing Scroll or a Scroll of Regeneration, which is 100 gold. Just going to let that Paladin here heal him up. And as you can see, Kenshin has a lot of wood right now, but he does not have really a lot of gold. So as you can see, a healing scroll being popped for the Night Elf player Zhouxixi right here at this shop after he's crept this out. What item did he get? He got something, and I don't know, he probably sold it. It's probably a wand of mana stealing. As you can see, going straight for the Paladin. Paladin going to go ahead and be used to get a holy light off, because he's probably about to go down. Oh no, he's going to get staffed to his base. It makes sense. It makes sense why Kenshin didn't have a lot of gold. He had to buy items. There it is, the Staff of Sanctuary, a very powerful item that will heal the Paladin all the way back up to full and make him immune to magic damage in the meantime. Of course, that can be dispelled, but there's nothing to go in there and dispel it. Maybe a wisp, but it really probably wouldn't be worth the detonate, in all honesty. As you can see, another archer going to go down, and the question is, will this Archmage get surrounded here? No, it's not going to happen. It does not look like it, but he is blocking with a Knight, doing some extra damage. Going to drain a little bit more Moonwell mana. Oh, what really nice blocking, and this actually could potentially kill him right here. Oh, he might go down. Oh, that Naga is so very close. The Naga goes down. Wow, what an amazing skill from Kenshin to go ahead and get that kill. That was really, really close. So close to those Moonwells. Would have been able to save him if he could have got there just a little bit faster. So amazing, perfect blocking from Kenshin. As you can see, of course, now Zhouxixi in an interesting situation. I mean, he's currently tier 3. There it is. And he's got these bears. He needs to get them up to master training. They are currently being researched. Gonna go straight for that Warden focus. Of course, he does have a Scroll of Healing as well as a Scroll of Town Portal, so should he have to in a pinch, he can stay alive, but he does have Rejuve on at least one bear that just popped out, but that bear is currently trapped inside of his own army, inside of his own base. These two lords, gonna go ahead and pop the rejuvenation on him as we see Kenshin going straight for the Moonwells. This is a bit of an issue for Zhouxixi. As you can see, Zhouxixi now at 36 out of 30 food, while Kenshin is throwing down a second barracks, and what a play, going down a second barracks. He's at 49 out of 66 food, so he's doing quite well. Bear form now has been finished, and bringing these bears in to try to do some damage. These Knights are really powerful against bears regardless, though. Knights, yeah, going to be able to, they don't have their HP upgrade researched yet, and I think that probably won't be seen in this game, but we might have, it might be though. So you're going to see a nice staff to dodge the Shadow Strike right there, and as you can see, that one that was cast on it about to wear off. And you can see in that Shadow Strike going onto the Panda now. The Zhouxixi with one more Shadow Strike left. We might see something be passed or use the healing scroll. Here's a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability being popped on the Pandarian Brewmaster right there. That is the last Shadow Strike we're going to be seeing from this Warden for some time. Of course, he still has to be concerned about the Cold Arrow coming in from that Naga. Going to get that Paladin to healing Holy Light him, and he's still running away. He could potentially die here. Seeing a nice bit of blocking on the Warden with that Paladin, also blocking the Naga behind the Warden. Very nice play from Kenshin. Right there, as you can see, that micro being amazing. And now you can see these bears are in a little bit of trouble here. We might see all three of these units potentially die. Probably not going to see all three of them, but it could have happened. Here we do see, of course, one bear will go down unless it can get staffed out. There is not currently a staff on any of the Night Elf units, or I'm sorry, heroes, and one bear does go down as the Naga tries to distract the rest of the human army, and it's going to be able to do so pretty nicely. You can see that Warden is running away. There's a Knight all the way up here just trying to do a little bit more damage if he can. Will he go over here for a little bit of a block, maybe do a little bit more damage to maybe a Huntress? Indeed. Of course, then draining the Moonwells all game long, and that's going to really come into play once again here. As it's early in the night, the Moonwells haven't had a lot of time to regenerate. They do have their Moonwell mana regeneration and mana pool upgrade now, however, so that will help out a little bit. Level 3 now has been picked up by the Archmage. Going to go with level 2 Water Elemental indeed. Looks like it. Yes, indeed he will. Don't think you would see level 2 Brilliant Sword, but sometimes it might not be a bad choice if, you know, you're getting Breath of Fire level 2 and you need mana, or Holy Light, you need mana, whatever. But in this case, going to be definitely seeing Water Elemental level 2. And now you can see that Paladin picking up a Scroll of Healing as well as a Potion of Invisibility. Now we have two staffs on the human heroes, one on the Paladin as well as one on the Archmage, and now the Panda coming in here with a Potion of Healing as well as a Scroll of Regeneration, so that'll help out. And that Paladin with that Potion of Invisibility will actually allow him to pretty much just come into this fight, and if he's in a pinch, just cast Invisibility on himself and basically wait until he needs to come back out. And of course, that actually is going to play well with the Panda having a Scroll of Regeneration, so he can pop that while the Paladin's invisible if he needs to. Of course, you can see there is the Invisibility popped on the Paladin, but we see that Scroll of Regeneration being used at some point after the Shadow Strike has wore off. We might. Of course, this fight, as you can see, running away, the Paladin took so much damage in that fight, and there it is, the Scroll of Regeneration. Of course, he unfortunately popped that slightly too early, because that actually... Oh, Dust has been revealed on the Paladin. Going to be forced to pop the Potion of Healing that was passed to him from the Panda, and yeah, as you can see now, the fight just coming in here underway, and who's gonna win this fight? It looks like the human's in a really good spot here. I'm gonna go ahead and see that the Warden blinking over to the Paladin, and will he go ahead and try to keep this Paladin in the fight? No, just gonna lose him. He could have probably staffed him out, but oh well. And as you can see that these bears are going down, we might see this Panda go down as well. The Panda getting staffed out just in the nick of time, and indeed we have a really nice micro from both players. I mean, very few, I don't know if any units died. I think one unit, maybe one bear died right there. That might have even been a Huntress. I'm not quite sure. what? Oh, no, the Huntress is still alive. Yeah, I'm not quite sure, but here we do see that Warden taking some damage as well. Going to go ahead and use a Moonwell, using 2 Moonwells, and now another Moonwell will be focused down by Kenshin. Of course, Kenshin's playing really smart here, really well, and yeah, indeed, going for a second Moonwell right now. Going to back off a little bit as the Night Elf player has regrouped. And as you can see, level 3 Warden Shadow Strike doing a ton of damage over here to this Knight. Actually, the HP upgrade has been researched, and there you go. Yeah, just going to go ahead and pop a Scroll of Healing. He doesn't have any way to keep this Archmage alive except microing those Knights to block. And it looks like there's enough Moonwell, enough mana for another what's it called, Shadow Strike. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter, he just blinked, and then a little bit of miss micro there from those Knights, gonna block the Archmage, and he will go down. So there you have it. The Night Elf player actually doing pretty good, regardless of the fact that he just lost his Archmage. But now the Panda gonna go ahead and take the next immediate bit of focus fire. As you can see, a staff is currently on the Naga Sea, which is still a Trail of Town Portal on the Warden as well, and we have that Paladin coming back into this fight. And we do see a little bit of damage going, a lot of damage going off onto that Warden. Will it be forced to TP? And the human player now going to be able to get a little bit of an off by that. And will he go ahead and creep out a little bit, or will he come down to the healing fountain and creep out the ground units here? He could do a couple of different options, and you can see a Scroll of Night, or Moonstone, sorry, being used. And you can see just during how effective the Moonwell upgrade is for mana. As you can see, just going bit by bit very quickly. Normally it's much slower than this, and of course you can go all the way up to 425, and these Moonwells have been the saving grace of Zhouxixi so far in this game. And that Archmage is probably about out, let's see, yeah, well, a little bit halfway through, on his way. And of course you can see that it looks like the Knights have been having their upgrades being researched. I did not notice that. 3 attack upgrades, and their 3rd upgrade for armor is on the way. The Bears, on the other hand, are currently only 1-1. And you can take a little bit of a difference and look at this. Bears at 1 upgrade do 30 to 50, and Knights at 3 do 33 to 53, but they attack much faster. As you can see, attacks attack fast, Bears attack average. So there you go. The Knights are doing quite a bit more damage right now than those Bears do, and you can just see that coming in on these Moonwells, just of course constantly harassing these Moonwells, forcing Zhouxixi to constantly rebuild Moonwells. And this time we're going to see 2 of these Moonwells go down. Right now there's 1 Moonwell on its way back up right here, but we can see a second Moonwell has died, putting Zhouxixi down to 48 out of 40 food. Gonna go for another Moonwell. That'll probably get canceled if should Kenshin decide to cancel that. He could probably do that pretty easily, but it looks like the army of Zhouxixi is going to come in right now. Going to go ahead and try to kill a Huntress. Going to be able to take that down, picking up level 2 on the Paladin, and that's going to be a very powerful move for Kenshin, because level 2 Paladin means he has Divine Shield at this point, and Divine Shield means he can stay on the battle much longer. There it is, the Divine Shield right there as he gets Shadow Striked. Doesn't really a really good dodge on that Shadow Strike, because essentially that waste mana from the Warden, and if you can waste mana from the Warden, that's always a good thing. We can see that there is a bear probably going to go down here. Maybe might get staffed. We'll see what happens there. Might actually just walk away. In fact, the Archmage taking a lot of immediate focus fire as soon as he walks into this target. Probably going to see a Holy Light and then potentially even a staff, but we'll have to wait and see. Will he go down? Actually, he has a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability now, just using that to kite around and hopefully try to bait one more Shadow Strike. There it is, baiting one more Shadow Strike. That's really good play, because now of course every bit of Moonwell mana takes up now additional mana for this Warden when he goes to heal, if he decides to do that, if he needs to heal in a pinch on the Moonwells. This is looking really unfortunate for Zhouxixi right now, as you can see, down to 41 out of 40 food, only 3 Moonwells left, and those Moonwells are currently out of mana. Of course, these Bears don't really have a lot of mana. They can go ahead and get a couple of rejuves off and then turn back. You go ahead and see, trying to kill the Archmage, going to get staffed out at the last moment. He's going to be fine, and now this Warden is got to deal with the level 3 Panda, and GG is called. So congratulations, really well played by Kenshin. An interesting style, just going for those Moonwells, constantly draining them and killing them, picking them off, and forcing Zhouxixi to not be able to creep, which is very, it's odd, because normally when you see Archmage play versus Warden play, the Night Elf is the aggressor, but in this case we saw the Archmage, the human player, being absolutely very aggressive all game long, applying constant pressure, getting those upgrades constantly on his Knights, getting all of the upgrades. They were fully tech Knights by the end of the game, and I think we can probably see, just as you can see, the tech count, it usually says something like that. Tech percentage, yes indeed. Kenshin at 20%, which is not actually all that high. Actually, I guess it's all he teched actually was just his Knights, but those Knights were fully upgraded. And so there you have it. That was game 1 for WLW Best of 3. If you'd like to watch game 2, click right here, and I'll see you there.